Good morning. Today I'm going to show you how to do a Punnett square. This is going to be a complete dominant Punnett square with Mendelian sort of genetics in mind. So let me read you the problem that I have. My problem is Mendel crosses two heterozygous pea plants and they are heterozygous round. Find the genotype and phenotype ratios for the offspring if round is dominant to wrinkled. So this is a Mendelian cross, which is a little bit different. Mendel actually studied complete dominance. That means you have two alleles for every trait. Alleles, remember, are different forms of a gene. So we have two alleles in this particular example. We have round and we have wrinkled. For this problem, I'm going to allow a capital R to equal round seeds, and then I'm going to allow a lowercase r to equal wrinkled. So those will be our two allele choices for this complete dominant cross. So now I want to set up my Punnett square. I said I crossed two heterozygous round pea plants, and so the first thing that I would do if I were you, I would try to figure out who are my parents or what are my parent genotypes. And remember, genotypes are two alleles working together. If you are heterozygous, it means that you have two different alleles that you have inherited. In this case, you're going to have one round and one wrinkled for each of your parents. So I'm going to cross one heterozygote round parent with another heterozygous round parent. Now I can go ahead and fill in my Punnett square. So this is a monohybrid cross. That means you have 4 boxes. You're typically going to put your genetic males across the top. In this case, we don't know what our genetic male and female is. We just know that 2 are heterozygous round. So I'm going to put one heterozygous round across the top. Females go along the side if you know them, but in this case, again, we have a heterozygous round across the side. Now, the way to fill in a Punnett square is anything that touches a box goes into the box. So the first box is going to get a capital R and a capital R. Second box will get a capital R, lowercase r. Third box will get a capital R, lowercase r. And your fourth box will get a lowercase r. This has now completed our Punnett square. Notice our parents are on the outside, and in here we have all of our offspring. And this represents a 25% chance for each of these offspring. So the question actually asks you, what are the offspring genotype and phenotype ratios? So remember, your offspring are in this box, right? A 25% chance for each of these offspring that we've drawn up here. So the first part of this question is, what are the offspring genotype ratios? And remember, genotypes are gene allele combinations. So I want you to write sort of a 2-letter description of the combination. And for a Mendelian cross, you always have 3 genotype possibilities. You have homozygous, dominant, capital R, capital R. You have heterozygous, which has 1 of each. And you have homozygous recessive. Now we come back to our problem and we see how many capital R offspring can we make given these parents, and we can actually only make 1 out of 4. So my ratio could be 1 out of 4, or you could write that as a percent, like 25% chance. How many of them are heterozygous? There are 2 out of 4. That is also 1/2, and so I will write that as 1/2. And then how many are homozygous recessive? That will be written as 1 out of 4. Those are your genotype ratios, but we also wanted to know phenotype ratios. And phenotype ratios are a little different. Phenotype ratios are descriptions in words what these offspring look like. For a Mendelian complete dominant cross, we are looking at only 2 options for phenotype. You will either be round or you will be wrinkled, right? So we have 2 options for this. Either you're going to express roundness in your seed or wrinkled, and that's like the little peas that you eat that are all like squiggly. So if we look up here at our offspring, how many of these present roundedness? Any one with at least 1 capital R will be showing round sort of phenotype. And so we have 3/4 of these. So 3 out of 4 that will show round, or 75%. And then how many show wrinkled? And this will be this 1/4, this recessive. In order to show the recessive, you need to have 2 recessives that you have inherited. So I hope this gives you an idea of how to work out a Punnett square. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.